will be from this program.
Okay.
We have had two sessions, one by Mr. Ravindra Kini and the second one by Dr. Krishnamurthy. Krishnamurthy's program was yesterday and Mr. Ravindra Kini's program was day before yesterday. So we are happy to welcome you today in our session. It's the third and final day of this program. It is part of what we call as the Chanakya series of lectures that we conduct for our students through visiting speakers from outside, industry experts, people who are domain experts like you in their own fields. So to give additional exposure to our students, that's the whole idea behind Chanakya series of lectures. So we are getting more and more students to join. Let's see how quickly we can start. Maybe another couple of minutes. Is that okay with you, sir?
Yeah, that's fine, sir. That's fine. We'll wait for them.
Right.
Any feedback on the earlier two sessions, sir, which you want me to take care of? Do you have any specific feedback?
What we understood from the two sessions that people took it very nicely. In fact, most of the students attended the second day as well, and I see from the crowd that most of them are attending today as well. There were some queries regarding meditation, some queries regarding different forms of meditation, which was also explained by the previous two speakers, especially Dr. Krishnamurthy. Yesterday, he explained some of the forms of meditation and the benefits of them, and what we do in heartfulness, how it is advantageous. So that has been covered already. In any case,
okay.
People would be. We would open the house for people to ask their queries or questions towards the end of the session today, and then the stage is yours to again answer them. So that is what we plan to do today. But there's nothing specific to ask in the beginning of the program. That is, any residual questions from yesterday or the day before? No.
Okay.
There seems to be some technical hitch. Some echo is coming, but anyway, we'll try and resolve that. Well, it's 10:19 and we'll start this session now. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege today to introduce an accomplished heartfulness practitioner, Mr. B.G. Prasanna Krishna. I will be calling him Prasanna Krishna from here on. And Mr. Krishna is the founder of Welfare Harvesters and also managing director at MEOH Tech Limited Liability Partnership. He holds a postgraduate degree from IIT Delhi and is a senior information technology and environmental consultant. He has worked at IBM and Wipro GE Medical Systems in leadership positions. He has also headed the India operations of two other IT companies in the past. To sustain his keen interest in working with nature and contributing to the society, he started Welfare Harvesters. That's a company specializing in the field of rainwater harvesting and solar energy utilization. He's a managing partner at MEOH Tech, which a company which is working in the area of promoting methanol energy, well, methanol economy. Well, that's a concept I need to learn a little bit more about. He's a member of Heartfulness Institute and committed to his spiritual quest under the Heartfulness system of meditation. He's a practitioner for more than 25 years and is now a Heartfulness meditation trainer. We are indeed privileged to have Mr. Krishna with us today to talk about the third day's program on Heartfulness meditation. And he will be, as you all know, he'll be talking about it's a valuable tool for self-management, Inner Connect. So let's see what we have in store for you. Welcome you, sir, once again. And the stage is now open for you to start your program. We expect around 40-45 minutes. That should be okay. And then we will take on any questions that the audience may have. Is that okay with you, sir?
Yeah.
Right. So over to you.
Yes.
Right. Over to you.
Thank you, Colonel Prasanna Kumar ji, and good morning to everybody. Am I audible? Is there an echo or something?
No, you are audible.
Okay. So I'm sure you have attended the 2 days program which has happened there, where you were introduced to the heartfulness meditation and the rejuvenation technique of how we go about focusing on our own self and how do we become better by removing unwanted tendencies in us. Today, we are going to talk about a very important aspect of our lives. That is, how do we manage ourselves and where should we really be connected to? So, I'll start with the presentation. Can everybody see my screen?
It takes just about a few seconds.
I think everybody is muted. Can everybody see?
I will just confirm it to you. So it takes about a few seconds before the screen starts getting shared. So there's a bit of a lag. We'll just wait for a few seconds for your screen to be seen.
Okay.
No, it's not coming on. Have you taken the route of present now and then selecting it and then okaying it?
Yes.
Yes, now it's coming up. Yes, now we can see your screen.
Can you see the presentation now?
Yes. We can see it now.
No, sir. Presentation is not coming.
So, give me a minute. I think I have shared the wrong screen. In the interest of time, Colonel Prasanna Kumar ji, do you want to start the share? I'm not able to share the presentation.
I will do that. Can you see this?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's going to come. It takes a few seconds to start.
It's started already. It's come.
No, it has not come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Right. Should I move to the next slide?
Okay.
No, slide, we're not getting slide.
Yes, sir. To the move next slide.
Mr. Prasanna Kumar, we are not getting slides.
You can't see the slide? It's already shared. It's already sharing.
No, nothing is coming on screen.
All right. Let me take another route. Can you see it now? Can the students see it now?
Yeah, it is shared.
No, sir, nothing is coming.
Others, anybody else can see it now?
No, sir, it is not.
Yes, we can able to see. We are able to see.
Yes. All right. Let's go ahead.
Okay. So essentially, we are looking at becoming better in life. We want to grow in our personal, professional, familial life, etc. This is the natural way of progression, where a child becomes a beautiful young woman. Next slide. Prasanna Kumarji, the slides are gone now. No, at least I'm not able to see.
Nobody.
Is that so? Okay. Are you seeing it now?
Yep.
Seeing it now? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But many times in our life, we find that we are going backwards actually. What we were and what we are today. Sometimes if you look at it, we ourselves feel, I used to be such a person, a cool, calm person. Why is it that...
Shrikanta Murthy sir, would you like to mute yourself?
Yeah. Okay. So many times in our life, we find that I was such a nice person. Yesterday, I used to be so cool, calm, connected. What has become of me now? So this is a common situation which we face sometimes, not very frequently, but we do face. Most of us do face it. This thing. Next slide, please. So if you look at it, how it all depends on how we are really connected to the world. We find that 90% of the time we are connected mainly to the external worlds. We are connected to our friends, relatives, family. And there are some occasions where we are connected within ourselves. Today, the topic of discussion is how do we become better? How do we manage ourselves better? By connecting to the inner core of our being. See, many times in life when we are faced with a challenge, something which comes from within, that's what we did during the first day, right? When you meditated, you went within yourself to find the source of our existence and then look at how that can help us become better human beings. That was the idea. So there are occasions where we really go into ourselves and look at it and connect to ourselves. Like a mother, loving a child. If the child is not well, she's so disturbed. But when the child becomes okay, the mother is very happy. So is the case with the professor. When the students are performing really well, he's proud of the batch. He's proud that the project that the students were doing went really well. There's so much joy, happiness in the life of a person. So these are examples on how we can improve our lives by connecting to our own self. But the main problem we face is it starts with sometimes we feel connected within ourselves, but our attention drifts outwards. We go out. So the challenge here which we are going to address is how do we look into ourselves, connect ourselves, and retain that connection throughout the day. That's what we'll be discussing here. So essentially, this is what is the challenge where we understand that it's important to be connected within. And if so, how do we maintain that connection? from the time we are awake till the time we are going to bed. How do we stay connected within ourselves? Anybody in the group feels it's not important to be connected to oneself? It's more important to be connected to the outside? Anybody in the group feels that way? Or we could take questions at the end, whatever suits you people. Should we streamline our questions to the end, Professor?
Yes, yes, we will do it at the end, sir.
Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, so this is the important thing. We have to use our own mind, like the dog in the picture, is controlling itself through its tail. We have to use our mind to regulate ourselves, to control ourselves. Next slide. The challenge is how? How do we do it? So I've outlined a few important points in our life. The vertical row on the right-hand side of the slide, on our right-hand side, talks about simplicity and purity. We have to make ourselves simple and pure to do it. That is what was rejuvenation yesterday about, right? Dr. Krishna spoke about it. How do we become simple and pure? Because like the paragraphs on the left say, a mind that is not balanced loses its direction. We ourselves find whenever we upset, our rationality decreases quite a lot, right? We do irrational things, we shout, we hurt ourselves many times, we hurt others by words or by physical, whatever. We hurt ourselves. And a pure mind finds the direction within. If our mind is pure, uncluttered with unnecessary emotions, clear on our values, we always find the right direction. And when we are settled in our mind like the child in the bucket, you always find the center. You always find a very comfortable position. So simplicity and purity needs to be developed in us. That's what rejuvenation spoke about yesterday, right? Next slide, sir. Yeah, this is a very important thing. Character is what we are in the dark. Dark doesn't necessarily mean when we are alone. It also means what goes on in our mind, which nobody other than us can know about. No? Only we know what goes on in our mind. We may be externally very friendly, very affectionate, but inside we may be seething with anger, hating the person in front of us. Only we can know about it. So how do we really balance the inner and the outer? That is an important thing. How do we discover ourselves? So character development is a very important thing in the whole process of making ourselves better people, better human beings. Next. I'll rush through these slides because I want to keep some questions for the end, some questions at the end, and also have time for meditation. So I'll rush through this slide. I'm sure most of you know about it. The next thing is all of us face difficulties and many times a lot of pleasurable situations in our life. We always commonly, we are very open to accepting good things in life, but when it comes to pain, misery, we always make ourselves suffer. I was reading somewhere, pain and suffering are two different things. You may be physically in pain, but you don't have to suffer for it. There are many examples if you look around. I used to remember my grandmother, she always used to have stomach pain, leg pain, something or the other. But she was so happy about the whole thing. Whenever somebody approaches, we all had such similar situations with, especially our grandparents. So how do they cheerfully accept it and sacrifice their pain, bear their pain to make us happy? So how do we cheerfully accept it? Probably it comes with age, but if we can inculcate earlier in our life, nothing like it. Next slide, sir. Yeah, continuous improvement. How do we keep on improvising ourselves? It's like Android or iOS releasing version 9, 10, 11, 14, They keep on adding features, they keep on making it more productive, they keep on making it the user interface better. How do we improve ourselves? If you don't have a car wash, get an elephant to do a car wash. Is that improvement? I don't think so. So the focus is on how do we improve ourselves? We'll come to the solutions as we go along. Okay, next slide, sir. Yeah, it comes, the whole thing comes back to within myself. See, if I have to change, it's the core in me which I have to change. I may take a shower, I may shave myself, put on neat clothes. Is that change? Yes, there is some change, but is that changing our core? No. So how do we find out what my center is? And how do I change in that center? That is the question we are looking at today. That's what the whole 2 sessions were about, right? Meditation focused on the inner self. And similarly, rejuvenation focused on how to make it simple, pure, ourselves sacred, proud of ourselves. So if you look at nature gives us a lot of lessons. Like you receive minimum or almost nothing, but you give back a lot of things in nature. It's like, leave the world a better place than you found it. Should be the idea. Plants do it. Many great men have done it. Similarly, how do we sacrifice and adjust our lives? Sacrifice is a very important thing. Without sacrifice, nothing happens. And a conscious sacrifice doesn't really make so much sense. It's like a mother. She doesn't sacrifice for the kid. She doesn't even think it's sacrificing. It's just love flowing out for the child, That sort of sacrifice, where you're not even aware you're sacrificing something for the good of the others. Similarly, automatism. This is a very important thing. Everything in this nature, has cycles. Seasons, sun, moon, sleep. Everything has a cycle. How do we automate our lives so that it becomes a cycle which is very natural and conscious and need not be supported through a conscious? It should become so automatic that helping others should become so automatic that we are not even aware we are doing it. It's like a mosquito biting in the sleep and you don't even know. You just scratch that area, So how do we make our life so automatic so that we can help others do it? Similarly, there are intuition versus knowledge. All of us are very well read, but are we wise? Again, going back to the idea of this grandparents, we all know they were so wise. You have cold, they could find out what is the reason, find a cure for it. They used to prepare some medicine, give it to us. But was my grandmother well read? I don't think so. I don't think she could even read or write. But she was very wise. How do we get to that stage? And how do we, most importantly, this is the crux of the thing. How do I make myself more simple and in tune with nature? Anything I do should really tune up to what nature expects from us. No? We are seeing the rampant role pollution is playing on this country. Probably it needed a COVID to reduce the atmospheric pollution. But we are also polluting the nature, with our thoughts, with our anger, with our frustration. You see what's going on around us in the world. How do we stop that pollution? How do we tune ourselves to be in with nature? See, any development for that matter has to start from each individual. Like this bottoms-up approach and the top-down approach. There's a lot of focus, especially in the Eastern stream of philosophies and thoughts, that it has to be bottoms-up. If a society has to change, each individual in that society has to change. It can't be you bring in a good education system, the whole society will change. Probably it can happen, but if the change has to be long-lasting, each individual in that society has to change. There can't be dacoits in the society and you think the society is doing extremely well. So each person, if that person is in simple, unique nature, it helps a lot. So these are the things we're going to focus on. Next slide, sir. Yeah, this is almost the last slide in my presentation. We are trying to really now, what we are trying to do is we are trying to connect with ourselves and establish that poise, whatever we do, it should be really out of our own choice, and it should be done in a manner which helps us do that thing well in a very balanced state of mind. One of the problems in this modern day society is, this rush for things. Everything. When do you want it? It's a typical jargon in the industry. When should I deliver this? I wanted it yesterday. I'm sure all of us have heard these phrases, right? But there is an important, I read a very catchy phrase, he who waits and watches also works. Work does not necessarily mean you have to run around, jump around, shout, do things. Somebody who is waiting and watching can do work much more effectively compared to a person who's showing so much emotion, jerkiness, that sort of thing. Similarly, we need to moderate all of our thoughts and actions. It should not be like, I'm not blaming the Western society or anything. I've been in many Western countries, Europe, US, Australia, and all this. there is so much focus on materialism, no? That the families are ignored, people are into drugs very shortly, families are split, the children are single parent children or no parent children. But if you come to India, probably about 50 years back, materialism was totally ignored. People used to go to temples, do bhajans. They used to ignore their material life completely. So what we are really trying to do is achieve that moderation. We have to be professionally extremely good. There's no doubt about it. We have to focus on it. Our families need to be taken care of. We have to bring up our children, take care of our parents, we have to take care of our spouse, we have to take care of our brothers and sisters, and do it well. It's not that we are just trying to do it. So what we are really trying to do is achieve a moderation in all spheres of our existence, so that we don't go overboard. We are not sannyasis with a langot, trying to meditate somewhere in the Himalayas. We are here in this world trying to do what we can. We want to meditate so that we become better. We want to do extremely well, a very professional job in our working environment. Our personal life should be good. I need a car. There is no doubt about it. Today, if you have to commute, you need a car, probably a good one. Why not? I need a good house to live in, well-decorated house. But in the core of my heart, I should nurture those values, the ethics. That is what we are trying to do. Similarly, we are trying to, many times we are trying to communicate things, but not connecting ourselves to others. That's an important aspect. You don't have to talk many times to console a person. Basic listening, sympathetic, empathetic listening, resonating with that person's difficulties solves half the problem for the person talking to you. So these are things which will help us do it. But the most important thing in the whole thing is, how do we connect to ourselves? See, if we are not connected to ourselves, if our mind is wandering here and there, if I'm not too sure of what my values are, what my ethics are, I can never achieve any of the things we discussed. Our character is not perfect, our pause is not there, we cannot accept things cheerfully. So the whole thing comes back to, how do we connect to ourselves and manage our lives? That is the core of it. So when we say connect to ourselves, there's always a capital S there, not a small s. It's like being selfish and self-like. We should like ourselves. There's no doubt about it. We should definitely like ourselves, but we need not be selfish. We should not be selfish. How do we achieve that state where I like myself? It's like, charity begins at home. First, I have to be charitable to myself. If I'm not charitable to myself, if I crib over and curse myself over every mistake I do, we are making a mess of our life. All of us make mistakes. We have to move forward and say, yes, I've done this mistake today, tomorrow I'll not repeat it. According to heartfulness system, there's only one form of repentance. That is, take a resolve that you will not repeat it tomorrow. So heartfulness suggests that this is an important thing. I think I would request all of you to inculcate it in your life as much as possible before going to bed. That should be the last activity of the day. Sit on your bed and recollect incidences which you could have done better during the day. If you made a mistake, if you unnecessarily shouted at somebody, stop and say, yes, I did this mistake. The only way I can repent for this is to take a resolve. I'll not do it from now onwards. There's no need to thrash yourself mentally and say, why did I do it? What the hell? I didn't have so much control over myself. What heartfulness says is, just take a resolve that you will not repeat it from tomorrow. So what is suggested as a part of the heartfulness practice is, just before you go to bed. Yesterday we spoke about 10-15 minutes of meditation in the morning, about 10-15 minutes of rejuvenation in the evening. This is the third activity which we recommend. That's why this is the last session. Before going to bed, sit on your bed in a comfortable position and say, these were the things which I could have done better today. And from tomorrow onwards, I will promise to myself, I'll resolve to myself that I will not repeat this. Our life becomes much better, much, much better. Rather than feeling guilty about things you did not do right or things you did wrong, it's best to say, I will not repeat it from tomorrow and forget the past. There's no point in living. After that, what you need to do is make that, see, there are three things in life that we spend a lot of time on. One is sleeping, probably 1/3 to 1/4 of our time we spend sleeping. Eating is another activity which we do, and talking, gossiping many times. These are three things. If during these three times, if we can remain centered in our heart, connected to ourselves, our life will be different. Suppose somebody is telling lies. All of us tell lies many times. So when we are telling lies, if I say, connect to myself and say, is this lie necessary? Many times you find that you're not able to tell the lie. Similarly, smoking, for example, I used to smoke a lot. When you connect to yourself and say, is this something needed for me? It will drop off. So what heartfulness suggests is these are the three things you spend a lot of time on: sleeping, eating, and communicating with others. During this time, try to remain connected to yourself. Try it every time before you take food. Think that this food is for my general good. It's helping me becoming simple, pure, and eat the food. In that remembrance, you'll find that you're eating moderately, not excessively eating. You're eating the right things. Similarly, before going to bed, what is suggested is, after you do this exercise of going back during your day and trying to understand what you could have done better, the next step is pay attention to your heart, connect yourself to the heart, and say, yes, connecting to myself is the most important thing, and let me do this throughout this night today. When I go to sleep, let me be connected to myself, so that it helps. It makes a big difference. Do this for about 10 minutes. First step is to look at all the things you didn't do well during the day, resolve not to do it tomorrow. The second thing is sitting on the bed and saying to yourself, I shall remain connected to myself, connected to my source, connected to my values, my ethics during this night sleep, and go to bed then. It's been the experience of many practitioners that this really makes a difference. You sleep better, there are no unnecessary dreams, no unnecessary baggage on your mind because you shouldn't have done that, I should have done this, nothing. What is done. From tomorrow, I'll be a better human being. And after, see, this is the part of connecting ourselves in the session. And then before you get up, when you get up in the morning, again make that resolve that I'll be connected to myself during the day, and sit for about 15-20 minutes of meditation. Please, I would request all of you not to treat this as a 3-day class, you learn something, moved away, but really please look at it as something you need to do every day. This, whatever, half an hour, 45 minutes of practice, morning 15 minutes meditation, evening 15 minutes cleaning, and 10-15 minutes before going to bed. All of us have found that it makes a tremendous difference in our life. It helps us find out what is the source, what is the purpose of our life. So I really urge all of you to try it. It's only for our good, So this makes a lot of difference. This connection, establishing this connection before you go to bed, and again, reinforcing that connection when you get up in the morning and say, I'll maintain these connections throughout the day, will really make a big difference. You can't do anything wrong if you're connected to yourself. Your heart, your consciousness will not let you do it. So I think I really urge all of you to try it out. It makes a big difference. And every small effort you make, that's why I said that every drop counts. Every small effort you make will take you 2 steps forward. It is the small efforts we should really focus on. I can't change overnight. That's impossible. I have to take my time. I have to do it. Spend my time, spend my energy. Go step by step. That's what can be a real progress in our life. So with this request that each of us should really try this out, doing just before going to bed, sit for 10 minutes on the bed, try it out, and then again getting up in the morning and trying it out again for doing this, establishing this, probably 2 minutes before meditation really helps a lot. What I want, do we take the questions first or do we finish the meditation first?
We do the meditation first, and once you are done with your main part, then we will take the questions towards the end.
Okay, fair enough. So shall we start the meditation?
Yes, we should start the meditation.
So basically before, okay. So just before you start the meditation, just close your eyes and pay attention to the heart and say that I would like to connect to myself, connect to the source of my being, and then sit for meditation. So let's try it that way. The first day you did a relaxation technique, second day you did a cleaning techniques. Today we'll try to connect ourselves and then close our eyes. After about 15-20 minutes, I'll say, that's all. We can open our eyes that time. Okay? Shall we start? Gently close your eyes. Sit comfortably. Pay attention to your heart. Your heart is drawing you inwards. Try to be one with the source of your being. There's a light in the heart. There is a source which has created that light in the heart. Pay attention to it. And sit with a prayer that I'm trying to connect myself to the source. Many times my mind distracts me, pulls me away from this connection. And the only way you can remain connected is by continuously paying attention to the source in me, the source of the light in me, the source of my existence. Make this submit this prayer to yourself. And with this prayer, let's begin meditation. Gently close your eyes. Pay attention to your heart. Don't try to concentrate. It's a very relaxed process. It's just like waiting. You're just waiting for the light, the source of the light to appear. Thoughts, right? Just ignore the thought. The moment you're aware you're thinking of something else, very gently bring your mind back to your attention, back to your heart. Let's continue like this for about 15 minutes. Again, I re-emphasize, do not worry about thoughts. They will be there. Your only role during the whole process is to gently pull your attention from the thoughts to your heart. Yeah, that's all. Before you open your eyes, gently scan your system head to toe to see how your body is feeling. Also, see how, if your mind is relaxed, what are the sort of thoughts you're getting. Make a mental observation of this, and then you can gently open your eyes. Thank you. So this is the end of the formal session actually. What we really tried to do during these 3 days was to see how we could become better human beings. Yeah, we are a good, we may be rich, we may be powerful, we may be a good professor, a good student, but how can I become a better human being? We are good human beings, no doubt about it, but how do we become better and better? That is what we tried to achieve it. I would only request all of you to try this out for a while, because nothing happens overnight. It takes some time. So try, see, this is for ourselves we're doing it. So 45 minutes, 1 hour a day, trying to close our eyes, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, and 5-10 minutes before you go to bed. I would sincerely request all of you to try it. If you go to heartfulness.org, there are more details available there. Yeah, with this, I'm open to any questions or comments.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Prasanna. Right, ladies and gentlemen, you may now pose your questions to the speaker of the day. May I request Dharmendra sir to allow people to mute and unmute themselves? And you can unmute yourself. Just raise your hand or give me a shout out, and I will allow people to speak and ask their questions. And then we move on to the next one and so on. Right. Anyone, any questions, please?
So Prasanna, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Please, sir.
Mr. Krishna, good morning to you. For the past 2 days, I have been practicing the meditation and whatever method has been suggested. And here I have certain technical points.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Professor Murthy, go ahead.
I have some technical questions on this. See, now, according to our system, it was indicated that we should take our mind towards heart, to the heart, right? Heartfulness.
Yes.
So then, the very objective. Before that, I'll explain you what exactly the experience I had.
Okay.
So I was going in the meditation. By 5 minutes, I was able to go to a trance. So wherein my breathing became very shrill, and at the same time, it went to some extent. It went to the extent of breathlessness also. There's no need for breathing at all for me for some time. And in this kind of situation, we will be going to a position wherein we will be having a absolutely no thoughtless state in our mind.
Correct,
Okay.
sir.
So perhaps that is the very objective of any meditation. You agree with me? Then, in that kind of situation, okay.
Sir, I'm losing you. I'm not able to hear beyond you went into a thoughtless state.
Sorry. I went to a state wherein I reached a state of thoughtlessness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I can.
So then, in that kind of situation, we cannot bring our mind to the heart. If we bring our mind to the heart, our thoughtless process gets disturbed. So, is it necessary that we should take our mind throughout the session of meditation? You got my point?
Okay.
You got my point, or you want me to?
Yes, sir, I got your point. Or you have to add. The ancient Shastras talk about something called Samadhi state, where you're totally drowned into yourself, which is a very good thing to happen. This is enabled in the heartfulness system by something called transmission, which is very unique to this system. I don't know if Ravindra Kini spoke about it. He should have mentioned about something called transmission, which helps us go deeper into ourselves and lose control of ourselves. At that point of time, there is no need to force your mind. You're not even aware that you're gone into that state. So there's no question of forcing your mind to come back to this meditative state. The deeper effects of meditation is to get absorbed into yourself and go into that samadhi state. So it's good that it's happening. Yeah.
Because we should enjoy that bliss, what we get in that state.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We get a kind of bliss, but that cannot be explained.
Yes.
It will be
very
so
true,
fantastic.
Sir.
Thank you.
See, the idea is in heartfulness meditation, this 10-15 minutes meditation is only a training for that mind to be in that state. The larger purpose of this whole thing is our mind should always be in that state, and we should be able to address all the other activities outside of us. So our mind should be so calm, so collected, in such a state of settledness that whatever else you may be doing, you may be teaching in a class, or you may be scolding your children, or you may be having food, but inside ourselves, our mind should be in that state. That is the idea. So this 10-15 minute meditation is only a training for us for it to extrapolate into our daily life. Whatever else we may be doing, our mind should be in that state. Very nice observation, Professor Murthy. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Any other questions? Please feel free to ask, especially students. Today being the final day, in fact, you can ask your queries even from the previous days, because the professor, the speaker is connected to the same organization, and they follow the same same, I would say, practices. He would be in a position to answer all your queries even from the previous days as well. So kindly feel free and go ahead. Yeah. Anybody else? Any questions? I don't see any further questions coming up. So I would take this opportunity to thank Mr. Prasanna Krishna on behalf of the director of our department, Dr. B.R. Venkatesh, who could not be here today due to some personal commitments. I thank you, sir, on behalf of all the faculty and all our students of our department and the visiting students who are from outside of the department as well. So from everybody, from the entire audience, I thank you for this wonderful session, for the practice that you have given us, and for the insight that you have shared. Someday, once the COVID situation improves, we would love to have you on the campus and meet you in person, sir. That will be an honor for us to call you and have a personal one-to-one direct interaction with you. That would be great. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. Don't forget to give your feedback on the session. The link is there in the chat box. Your certificates will be shared with you the moment you submit your feedback. So please don't forget to submit your feedback and receive your certificates of participation in this wonderful program. Thank you so much, sir, once again, and have a great day, everybody. See you, bye-bye, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.